If you've ever wished Outlook could gather certain emails into one place automatically without moving them, search folders might be exactly what you need. This is one of those features that many users never touch, but once you understand it, it can be incredibly useful. A search folder is not a real folder in the normal sense. It is more like a live view. Outlook looks across your mailbox, finds emails that match certain conditions, and shows them together in one place. So in this lesson, I'll show you what search folders are, how they work, and why they can be a very handy optional power feature. So as you can see, I've got my inbox open here, and if you have a look, we don't have any search folders currently. So the three dots on the right hand side here, the ellipsis, offers you more options. If you click that, the option here is to create a new search folder. So let's start with the key idea. A normal folder stores messages physically, or at least it appears to from the user's point of view. You move an email into it and that's where it lives. A search folder is different. It doesn't store copies of emails and it doesn't move them. Instead, what it does is display the emails that already exist somewhere else in your mailbox based on rules or search criteria. So think of it as a smart filtered view. For example, you could have a search folder that shows all unread mail, all flagged mail, all emails from a particular person, all messages with attachments, all emails marked with high importance. The email stays in its original position, usually the inbox or another folder, but Outlook also displays it inside the search folder because it matches a certain condition. That means the search folders are really useful when you want visibility, not relocation. So this can be really helpful if you find yourself repeatedly searching for the same kind of message. Maybe you often want to see all unread messages from a certain person. Maybe you want to track flagged items without building a complete filing system. So instead of doing all these searches over and over again, a search folder can do the work continuously in the background. And because it updates automatically, new matching emails already appear there as soon as they arrive. So if you have a look at this, if we click on search folder and then create new, we'll open up the new search folder dialog box. Now in here there are some standard options. If I just click the select folder type, you can see that we have unread mail, flagged for follow-up, mail either unread or flagged. We've got large mail, old mail, mail with specific categories. These are all useful because they take seconds to set up and they can solve some common problems immediately. So for example, unread mail can act almost like a live task list of messages you haven't had time to deal with yet. The flagged mail folder can give you a simple action-based view, especially if you flag messages and reminders for follow-up. And then, of course, you can also create custom search folders. And this is where the feature becomes more powerful. So, for example, you might want to create a search folder for emails from your manager, emails with attachments, messages containing a certain keyword, emails sent directly to you rather than to a group, or project-related messages from multiple people. So rather than building more folders and moving messages around, you create a filtered view that brings the relevant emails together automatically. Now it's important to just make a point here. A search folder does not replace proper organization. It's a viewing tool, not an organization tool. So if your mailbox is already messy, search folders won't magically fix that. But they can absolutely help you surface important emails faster. That's why I described them as the optional power feature. So let's see what it looks like in practice. So I'm going to tick flagged for follow-up. I'm going to give it a name. I call it flagged. And I don't want to limit it to a specific folder, so I leave that unticked. And I'm going to click save. And then when I close the dialog box, if you have a look over here, you'll see that there's now a little arrow at the side of search folders, and there's my new folder called flagged. And immediately I click it, it now displays a view of all emails that have been flagged. The great thing about this is it updates in real time. So if I go back and we'll say that we've got another email here that we want to flag, I'm going to go to this one. This is about the invoice from Gail Anderson. So if I click that, and I'm going to just click follow up to use a quick step to flag that message. Now if I go down to flagged, you'll see that Gail's email has now been added to that view. So it's a really useful feature, this. If I wanted to create another one, I can go back to search folders and click the little ellipsis, create new search folder. This time I'm going to call the folder Alan, Graham, and I'm just going to choose mail from specific people, and the person I want to add here is Alan Graham. So again, I'm going to leave this unchecked because Alan's emails could be in different folders. So if I now click Alan Graham, there we go. All the emails from Alan, wherever they happen to be located, are now featured in that view. If you're not already using search folders, I do recommend that you give it a try, because the power of search folders is, of course, they are self-updating. So there's a few sensible best practice ways to use search folders. First of all, keep them purposeful. Don't create dozens of them. If you make too many, they just become clutter rather than helpful. Secondly, use them for ongoing visibility. They're best when you regularly need to monitor a certain category of message. And third, combine them with your broader workflow. For example, use rules to automate handling, use categories to label your messages, and use search folders to monitor important groups. So again, each feature has a clear role. Rules automate, categories label, and search folders bring things to the surface. A common misunderstanding is thinking that deleting a message from the search folder only removes it from that view. It doesn't. Okay, so you do need to be careful with this. Because the search folder is only showing the original message, deleting it there will actually delete the email as well. So you should treat search folders exactly like any other view in your mailbox. You're still working with a real message. So, search folders are a smart optional upgrade in Outlook that can help you keep important emails visible without moving them around manually. They work best in dynamic views, not as replacements for folders. For many people, a simple search folder for unread mail, flagged mail, or messages from key contacts is more than enough to add a useful productivity boost. And once set up, they quietly keep themselves updated in the background. So I hope that's been interesting for you, and I look forward to seeing you on the next tutorial. If you found this video helpful, please give it a thumbs up and consider subscribing for news of my latest videos. There's a discount coupon link to my Udemy course in the description. So thanks very much for watching, and I'll see you next time. Bye for now.